performance is widely known, focusing on its extraordinary radicalism and the unique, very special qualities it has been subject to many publications. The achievement of the Encyclopedia of Performance Art is to contextualize shoot under the formal as well as aesthetical aspects. Material, automatic weapon, performative practice, to shoot. To contextualize shoot within a huge field of performances with similar approaches concerning the used material and the performative practice.
Niki de Zonfal, with a gun caliber 22, producing one of her so-called tirs in Pas-Voisin, Paris, 15th of June 1961. And here we see Niki de Zonfal in front of one of her so-called tirs.
Dick Higgins, with an assistant, producing the scores of 1000 Symphonies, New Jersey, 1968. And here, the score of Symphony number 993, the third movement, Prestissimo, from 1991.
Dieter Meyer, This Man Will Not Shoot, New York Cultural Center, 23rd of February 1971.
On both documentary photos, Francis Orlus, reenactment, Mexico City, 2001. Daniel Aschwanden, Pretty Public Privacy, Bilderwerfer Wien at the Galerie der Künstler, Munich, 2004.
And Annelies Semper from Estonia, Fast Forward, Rewind, 1998.
Burton's performance, the one we showed first, Shoot, has become one of the big icons of performance art. But focusing on the formal aspects, as well as emphasizing the context of a certain tradition, of a specific performative practice, Shoot can be revived again. Thus, Shoot is relieved from the historical determination and is fed back into the circulations of a contemporary performance art practice. The encyclopedia starts off with volume 0 under the title Parameter, Idea and Use of the Encyclopedia of Performance Art. Here you will find rather general essays about the general idea behind creating such an encyclopedia and about how to use it and why it is worthy having such an encyclopedia. For example, the whole part we did until now is one of the excerpts of these essays you can find there. The first 8 volumes of the encyclopedia are containing a systematic and complete, I want to remember, complete collection of all materials and practices from the field of the performance arts. So if you remember the slides we just showed in the very beginning of the performance, you can imagine already that this is quite an extensive work, because each and every single material you saw there, and this was only like a couple of examples from the world of performance art, will be in these volumes about the material and practices. This systematic organization we propose in the volumes about material and about practice is based on what we call the anthropocentric perspective. You will find all materials used in performance arts which are used, developed and put into relation towards each other by performance artists for or as part of a performative practice. Part of the systematic organization of material and practice is an alphabetic index for each. The different approaches of the non-alphabetical systematic organization and the alphabetical organization, alphabetical organization in these indexes will be described later during this lecture. And as well, we will describe the consequences which these different approaches implicate.
We use the term practice for what performance artists do in performances. One could also say act or action. to drink, to pour, as practices seem to be well described as actions. But if you imagine a common practice like to beat or to hit, you are confronted with a dimension of actively executing or passively receiving. Hitting, being hit. To describe the practice of being hit as action is not correct. That's why we decided to use the term practice, which more likely includes both dimensions, the active execution of an action and the passive reception of an action. You see that for our project, even the most general terms have to be looked upon very carefully. Even though the term practice is wider than act or action in the common use, it as well includes a rather active dimension. But in our context, we use the term for both, the actively realized action as well as the passively received action. And besides that, also for the action in its process, like for example, for to rot or to bleed.